Welcome to The Scoop, where small changes lead to big results. I'm Rachel, a registered dietitian and a mom on a mission to make nutrition simple, practical, and actually doable. Whether it's decoding labels, busting food myths, or sharing easy wellness wins, this is your space to get real answers that fit real life. So let's dive into today's episode and take one more step toward feeling your best. Any and all opinions and views shared by hosts and guests on this podcast are the speaker's own and do not represent the views of Live It Up or its affiliates or parent company. Hey, welcome back to The Scoop, serving you straight nutrition talk, one scoop at a time. I'm Rachel, a registered dietitian with almost 20 years experience, and today we're talking about how what we put in our body affects our mood and mental well-being. That's right. We are what we eat, or more like our health and mood reflect what we have or have not eaten. The more we understand about the brain, the body, and our gut, the more we realize just how much food and nutrition plays a role in our brain health, mental health, cognition, mood. Do you know what this means? This means we have significant control over how we feel, over our cognitive health by just choosing specific foods. You might be saying, wait, they're only just now realizing that what we eat changes our mood, but because let's be honest, many of us can tell how our mood changes when we eat certain foods, right? But certain foods can make us feel great while others make us, they drain our energy. This is just the tippity top level of how what we eat affects our mood and behavior. So let's talk about specific micro and macro habits that you can implement to help support your brain health and cognition, help keep a better balance between your stress and calm, and help you feel your best. So the first thing is lots of plants. Research shows that a diet rich in plants, which have anti-inflammatory, antioxidants, polyphenols, and other bioactive compounds, has protective effects against neurodegenerative diseases and disorders. On the flip side, a diet high in saturated fats, added refined sugars, and processed foods, i.e. the Western diet or standard American diet, have been linked to an increased risk of cognitive decline and symptoms of depression. The goal is to nourish your brain with lots of vitamins and minerals and to help protect it with antioxidants. Second, reduce processed foods and refined grains. Eating a lot of ultra-processed foods is linked with symptoms of depression. Right now, about 60% of the average American diet comes from ultra-processed foods, which links hand in hand with this rise in mental health issues too. It's not the only reason for the increase, but it's definitely a contributing factor. Remember that it's okay to have some processed foods in your diet, but if the majority of what you're eating is coming from ultra-processed foods, you're at risk for a lot more than just the decline of your mental health. Check out my other podcasts on processed foods for more information on that and ways to help you find your right balance. Okay, 3, increase your omega-3s. Omega-3 fatty acids are polyunsaturated fats that have been linked with increases in learning, memory, cognitive well-being, and blood flow in the brain. So where can you get more omega-3s? The best sources are fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, herring, anchovies, sardines. These omega-3s include DHA and EPA, which are highly bioavailable, which means they're used really well by the body. Plant sources of omega-3s include chia seeds, ground flax seeds, walnuts, soybeans, things like that. These have omega-3 fatty acids called ALA. The ALA must be converted a few times in the body before it's usable. So you have to get a higher dose from these foods for the same benefit. Just something to keep in mind. 4, get enough B vitamins, specifically B12 and folate. Both of these have been studied, and there are links with a deficiency in these as with symptoms of mood disorders. In fact, research is showing that being on top of your B vitamins is particularly helpful in managing stress. Let's talk about homocysteine for a moment. So this amino acid is formed when the essential amino acid methionine is metabolized or broken down. The B vitamins, folate, and B12 help to break down and get rid of homocysteine, which is linked with cognitive impairment, brain atrophy, and neurodegenerative diseases. So when you're low in B12 or folate, your homocysteine levels may increase, which is what may lead to this damage. And it doesn't just cause issues in your brain. Homocysteine can wreak havoc all over the body. What foods can you eat to get these B vitamins? B12 can be found in animal products, things like meat and fish and eggs and dairy. So unless you're vegan, you're probably getting enough of this one. And if you are vegan, you might want to consider including nutritional yeast in your diet, which is a source of B12. Make sure you're eating foods fortified with B12, and you may need to take a B12 supplement depending on where you're at. Just as an aside, folic acid is the lab-made B9, the kind mostly found in supplements. You can find folate in green leafy vegetables like spinach, romaine, lettuce, asparagus, Brussels sprouts, broccoli, also in things like beans, sunflower seeds, peanuts, fruits, and whole grains. So if you're not getting a lot of vegetables, you might not be getting a lot of folate. It is found in some whole grains too. So if you're avoiding carbs, you might also be low in folate. Okay, 5, consider magnesium. So magnesium is an important cation, which is one of our important electrolytes. It's involved in different processes within the central nervous system. So a review of research shows that it could be beneficial not only for supporting mental health, but also for helping manage stress. Where can you find magnesium? Seeds. So pumpkin seeds, also nuts, almonds, cashews. It's also found in beans. Black beans and edamame are good sources. It's in potatoes and yogurt as well. Number 6 is vitamin D. Now, vitamin D plays a big role in the production of serotonin and melatonin. And for this reason, some researchers hypothesize that it can also support mood and sleep. It's also really important for gut health. Now, we get most of our vitamin D from sunlight. What happens is the UVB light is absorbed into the skin, which is converted into pre-vitamin D3, which then turns into usable vitamin D in the body. However, you will not produce vitamin D if you're using sunblock or if you're wearing clothes. Your body just can't make vitamin D if it's not getting through. For your body to make vitamin D, the sun must be at the highest point in the sky or high in the sky at a more direct angle. So not sunrise or sunset when the sun is coming in at a more extreme angle. Also, you should know that glass stops UVB light, which means your body cannot produce vitamin D when you are indoors, even if you're in the sun next to a window. Now, you might be saying, but Rachel, I get sunburnt. Yeah, and while sunburns can come from UVB light, UVA light gets through glass, and that's what's causing you a sunburn inside. Or if you're driving down the highway with your arm on the windowsill and like the sun's coming in. This is interesting. I find this like fascinating. During wintertime, the earth is closest to the sun. But if you're in the northern hemisphere where America and Canada is, it's tilted away from the sun, right? This is why it's cold in the wintertime, because we're farther. Even though we're closer, it's tilted away. That's why the northern hemisphere is cold. This also means your body cannot make vitamin D if you are too far north, specifically above the 37th parallel. The angle of the earth makes it so that the UVB light that hits your skin at that angle, it can't make it at that angle. Science is so cool. But because of these reasons, there are a lot of people who actually do not get enough vitamin D in the winter, and sometimes even in the summer, because they might be wearing sunscreen all the time, might not get outside a lot. There was actually this study done in Boston where they put I want to say it was like an imitation ear up on like a roof to see how much vitamin D it made, and it made hardly any. So it might be important for you to get your vitamin D levels tested and talk to your doctor about what supplementation might look like if it's a little bit low. Because lack of vitamin D has been linked to many health issues, including affecting our mood and sleep. So make sure that you're paying attention to that. You might need to catch back up. And to make vitamin D from the sun, you need about 10 to 25 minutes. It depends on where you are of exposure to the sun on your face and your hands. But remember, in the winter, in the north, you might need to just rely on a supplement during those months. And the last thing to think about for the mood-food connection is keeping your gut healthy. The health of your gut is inextricably linked with your mood. A lot of your serotonin is produced in the intestinal tract, along with GABA and dopamine. So a healthy gut can help ensure the production of these feel-good chemicals, making sure that it's working as it should. Your brain and digestive tract communicate using the gut-brain axis, and communication goes both ways. So your mood can affect your gut, and your gut can affect your mood, which actually, when I look back on it, makes so much sense as to why I also had a hugely upset stomach before all my track meets. I was way too stressed and nervous for them. If you kind of take a look and dig around, you might start to notice that your mood is affecting how you digest or how your stomach feels or if you're a little bit bloated, things like that. When your digestive health is not up to par and your microbiome is unbalanced, which is a state called dysbiosis, it can affect mood disorders, your immune function, and even some neurological issues. So what keeps your gut healthy? Probiotics, prebiotics and fiber, digestive enzymes if you need them, and lots of plants. These 5 factors in terms of all the things that affect your gut is what I like to call the holy pentalogy of gut health. And if you want to know more, check out my podcast on gut health because I go deep. Probiotics you can get from foods, but to make a real impact, a supplement is really much more effective because foods just aren't providing us with enough probiotics to impact our gut in a way that is noticeable. Prebiotics are a type of fiber, but not all fibers are prebiotics. So the best ones are things like dandelion greens, Jerusalem artichoke, onions, asparagus, oats, barley, wheat bran, seaweed, burdock root, inulin, like from chicory or something like that. Those are prebiotic fibers. They work together with probiotics. They feed our good bacteria in the gut. Now, what about digestive enzymes? Now, digestive enzymes can be found in different plants, like bromelain and pineapple. But if these are something that you need, a supplement is likely your best bet. So the thing is with digestive enzymes, our body makes enough of them usually. But for some people, they have difficulty digesting specific carbohydrates or maybe aren't making enough digestive enzymes. And if you're having some GI issues and you're just not sure, if you work with a registered dietitian who specializes in gut health, they can help you understand what might be going on and what you might need. Okay, that last thing for your gut health is plants. So having a diet rich in these, especially when you eat at least 30 different plants a week, which is very hard, and I even struggle with that, that's been connected with a happy, healthy gut microbiome. If you're working toward eating enough plants, or if you just don't like them and you're falling short, you could consider something like a greens powder. It's not going to replace it, but the right one could help you boost your plant and antioxidant variety. Some green powder even have probiotics and prebiotics, so they help cover a lot of different bases for your microbiome. And as you know, I am the chief registered dietitian for Live It Up, and I think their greens powder is the best from a dietitian standpoint as well. But let's get back on track. Let's summarize. A diet that is rich in plants, micronutrients, and omega-3 fatty acids are great for helping boost and sustain your mood. A diet high in saturated fats, added sugars, and simple carbs and processed foods bring your mood down, both in energy as well as your mental health. Magnesium-rich foods may help manage stress, may help balance and calm. B vitamins can help support your brain health. Vitamin D to support your serotonin and melatonin production and your brain health. And keeping your gut healthy plays a big role in your overall mood and production of those feel-good hormones. So take a look at the list. Where is your diet lacking? What can you focus on to help support your mood and brain health? Where can you make a change this week? It's time for you to focus on your micro habit. So tell me what your goals are in our judgment-free zone, or ask some questions. What can I help with? What kinds of questions do you have? If you have a question about specific supplements, if you have a question about you've noticed different links between your mood or your mental health and different foods, I'd love to have a conversation about it. So have a great week and get out there. Focus on your whole foods to help boost your mood a little.